On this week's episode of the Local Music Show podcast, we're taking a much-deserved break. We continue the series of famous musicians we have met, and we have some breaking show news to reveal. It's a modified programming schedule this week. Let's roll another Local Music Show podcast. That's right, we control the programming schedule at the WPB HQ studio located in West Palm Beach, Florida, and we did allow ourselves to celebrate Labor Day, which did affect our production schedule, but I can't say that we're really sorry for that either. But even though we were not working, we still celebrated by playing music with good friends, and those of you who were there, who are listening, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We're musicians through and through, paid or not, it's in our blood. I am Derek Diamante, along with Around the Legend and Jose Almonte, and also joining us in the studio is Local Music Show podcast contributor Esteeb. LocalMusicShowPodcast.com is the web address. We sincerely appreciate everyone who supports the show by clicking the subscribe button. We do not spam mail our subscribers, but we do treat you as VIP members of the club. Local Music Show podcast subscribers often receive new original music from right here within our very own local music scene, and you can't get that anywhere else unless you go see it yourself. As I mentioned at the top, we do have some major breaking show news to tell you about. You can now find the Local Music Show podcast on iTunes, the largest podcast media platform. That's right, as we continue to expand the far reaches with our Infinite Airwaves broadcasting network, you can now listen with your favorite device with the iTunes app. Keep an eye on the website over the next few days, and we will have the iTunes link added shortly. And we are continuing the Ron the Legend series of famous musicians we've met, with a really cool story about Stevie Ray Vaughan at the height of his career and just months of his passing. Let the weekend officially begin. This is the Local Music Show podcast. This week, as we remember September 11th, with great reverence and respect, we remember and honor the lives that were lost, the heroes who unselfishly sacrificed all, and the people whose lives were forever changed. We remember, and we're thinking of you. You're listening to the Local Music Show podcast.
Welcome to the weekend update for Thursday 9/13 through Sunday 9/16. This week's featured venues are the Square Grouper in Jupiter, Bradley's Saloon in West Palm Beach, the Rum Shack in Lake Worth, Matthews Brewing in Lake Worth, and Two Georges in Boynton Beach. Tonight, Slip in the Spinouts at Clematis by Night at 6 p.m. Victoria Cardona at Bradley's at 6:30. Rob Arendt solo at the Wyndham Hotel and Resort in Deerfield Beach at 7 p.m. Sweet Justice at Square Grouper in Jupiter at 8 p.m. And Mark Bissari at Rum Shack in Lake Worth at 9 p.m. That's all tonight, 9/13. For tomorrow, Justin Enko's at Two Georges at 5. Spider Cherries at Bradley's at 6:30. Bryce Allen Band's at Matthews Brewing in Lake Worth at 8 p.m. The Connected are at Square Grouper in Jupiter at 8 p.m. Havoc 305 is at Pompano Under the Stars on 20 North Pompano Beach Boulevard tonight at 7 p.m. Stereo Mix is at Rum Shack in Lake Worth at 9:30 p.m. For Saturday 9/15, Diago Das Virgins at Two Georges at 4 p.m. Unlimited Devotion at Bradley's at 6:30. Big Medicine is at Square Grouper in Jupiter at 8 p.m. Crazy Fingers is at Matthews Brewing in Lake Worth at 8 p.m. And Jason K and Signal Fire are at the Rum Shack in Lake Worth at 9 p.m. For Sunday, 9/16, 33 Years Duos at Matthews Brewing beginning at 2:30. Melinda Elena Band is at Two Georges in Boynton at 4. The Moonshiners are at Bradley's at 6:30, and Abby Owens is at Square Grouper in Jupiter at 7 p.m. If you'd like to hear your favorite band or venue added to the Local Music Show Podcast Weekend Update, contact us at TheShowGuy at localmusicshowpodcast.com. Come out and support local music, and we'll see you out there.
All right, so my Stevie story is a very good friend of mine, Jimmy.
Jimmy Vaughn?
No, we were.
He's got the hookup. He knows the guy.
he knows Stevie.
So
Sorry, Ron, go
we
ahead.
were good friends since we were just turning into the teenagers, and he had called me and said, "Hey," he's like, "What are you doing tonight? Let's go see Stevie Ray Vaughan." I'm like, "Shit, I didn't even know he was in town." He said, "Yeah, they're playing at Duquesne University, which is a gymnasium in Pittsburgh, right?"
Mm-hmm.
So,
Wait, what year is this?
1989.
Okay.
This is 1989.
Wow.
Not that long
Right.
ago.
Yeah. So, I know I'm showing my age here, but this is a good story, so check this out.
It wasn't that long ago. Well, it would have had to have been because he passed in, what,
Yeah.
89 or... No, 90.
90.
90, I think
90.
it was.
Passed it.
90?
Yeah, 90.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, he calls me and said, you want to go to the show? I'm like, yeah. He said, hey, there's a catch. I said, okay, what's that? He said, my buddy, my old roommate from college, is the promoter for the show. He said, so all we have to do is go there and apply to be security for the show, and he will pick us out of the lineup of guys to work security for the show. We get a yellow security shirt on, and when the concert starts, we take our shirts off and we enjoy the concert for free. I'm like, hell yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, sign me up.
Dude, why didn't you call me for that?
I'm like, sign me up. So we drive to downtown
You're
Pittsburgh.
like, well, so where's the catch?
Yeah, exactly, right?
So we drive to downtown Pittsburgh. You guys are going to love this. So I'm standing in a lineup, in a security lineup, right? And there's probably 30 guys in this lineup. And I am the shortest, skinniest guy in the entire line, right? There's 6'5" football players in this line. And they can only pick 20 people out of the 30, right?
Uh-huh.
So the guy walks down the line, yes, 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 yes. And then he comes to me and he looks at me and he goes, yeah, you too. And everybody in the line looked at me like, what the f*** is going on? They knew something.
Just start growling. Going,
They knew something was up. So anyway, so I get picked for security, right? So my buddy Jimmy goes off with, one supervisor.
Did the vest fit you at that time?
It was a T-shirt, and yes, it did. Thank you. So there were two supervisors. One would take people in one direction, one would in the other direction. So I'm following this supervisor, and Jimmy and I are split up. And the guy says to me, he says, your job is to stand right here and don't let anybody in to the gymnasium. And it is literally a basketball court gymnasium with retractable bleachers. That's the kind of venue this is. Mm-hmm. And he said, that's all you got to do. Don't let anybody in here. I'm like, okay. So I'm standing there, and it's before the show. And so I'm hearing the bands warm up. So who is behind me but Jeff Beck?
Oh,
Wow.
So Jeff Beck is opening for Stevie Ray Vaughan, and his drummer is Terry Bozzio. I don't know if you guys know who Terry Bozzio is. So I'm listening to Terry Bozzio, and he's warming up, and it sounds like a full band on stage. He's just amazing on percussion, and I turn around and I'm just enthralled watching Terry Bozzio, and then I see Jeff Beck come out on stage and do a sound check, and I'm like, this is fucking awesome, right? So I'm watching this, my back to the door I'm supposed to be watching, and
Someone said, "Who let Jeff Beck in here?"
and
Let that guy in.
so
Security, you're fired. Jeff Beck's been crashing these shows.
So the supervisor comes back. So these guys come off stage. The supervisor comes back. He's like, hey, they're going to let a VIP crowd come in through this doorway. Let them in. Don't let anybody else get in their line. Don't let, there's... So it's radio station personalities and contestant winners and things like that are VIPs that are coming into the show. So I'm standing there, and there's about, maybe a dozen people that walk in. There's 10 women and 2 dudes in this line. And next thing you know...
Welcome to the Weekend Update Recap for Thursday, 9/13 through Sunday, 9/16. I'll be announcing our venues north to south. At Square Grouper in Jupiter, beginning tonight, you can see Sweet Justice at 8 p.m. Tomorrow, The Connected at 8 p.m. Saturday, Big Medicine at 8 p.m. And Sunday, Abby Owens at 7 p.m. All at Square Grouper in Jupiter. Tonight, Clematis by Night, downtown West Palm Beach waterfront, Slip in the Spinouts, begin at 6 p.m. At Bradley Saloon in West Palm Beach, tonight, Victoria Cardona at 6:30. Friday, Spider Cherry. Saturday, Unlimited Devotion. And Sunday, The Moonshiners. All shows at 6:30 at Bradley's in downtown West Palm Beach. At the Rum Shack in Lake Worth, tonight, Mark Pisari at 8:30 p.m. Friday, Stereo Mix at 9:30 p.m. And Saturday, Jason K and Signal Fire at 9 p.m. At Matthews Brewing in Lake Worth, tonight is Open Mic Night at 7 p.m. Tomorrow, Bryce Allin Band at 8 p.m. Saturday, Crazy Fingers at 8 p.m. And Sunday afternoon at 2:30 is 33 Years Duo. At Two Georges in Boynton Beach, Friday, Justin Enko at 5 p.m. Saturday, Diogo Das Virgins at 4 p.m. And Sunday, Melinda Elena Band at 4 p.m. At the Wyndham Beach Resort in Deerfield, tonight, Rob Arendt playing solo at 7 p.m. At the Pompano Beach Amphitheater Under the Stars at 20 North Pompano Beach Boulevard, tomorrow night, Friday, see Havoc 305 with my co-host Jose Almonte on lead vocals beginning at 7 p.m. Come out and support local music. Say hi to the bands. Have a beer with us. Buy us a beer. Come say you listen to the Local Music Show podcast. Have a great weekend, everybody.
So I'm standing there, and there's about, maybe a dozen people that walk in. There's 10 women and 2 dudes in this line. And next thing you know, here comes Stevie Ray Vaughan. He comes walking out. So this is a meet and greet with Stevie Ray Vaughan. Yeah. And I'm watching the line of VIPs that's meeting Stevie Ray.
Nice.
So Stevie's standing there, and I don't know, Stevie's a short guy. I don't know if you how well you know. He's a very short guy. He's probably 5'5", maybe. And so he's standing on like a platform, right? Because he's self-conscious about his height, so I hear. And people are walking up to him and introducing themselves and saying, "Hi, my name's so-and-so. I'm from this radio station. Pleasure to meet you, whatever." So the 2 dudes go through the line, and then all the women start to go in the line, and they all go, "Stevie, will you sign Mike?" And he's like, "Yeah." So 10 women in a row, they're pulling down their shirts low enough.
You don't have to lower yours down.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to give you a visual.
It's radio, yet we have to look at Ron's nipples. Why did I sign up for this?
You're welcome. Hey, a visual adds to the story, right?
Yeah, even though it's audio, it's all right.
That's right.
That's all right.
It's okay.
That's good.
It's for your benefit.
It adds to the content.
I need a smoke for that after this.
All right. So, and we're going to take a break. We're going to take a break after this. After the story's
I'm bringing
over.
my sunglasses for the next show.
So I'm almost done with the story. Hang tight with me. So each woman is introducing herself, and he's autographing their chest. So it comes up to me. I'm the last guy in line. I'm wearing my yellow security shirt, right? And I pull up my yellow security shirt, and underneath I'm wearing a T-shirt.
Sign your boobs.
Now listen. I said, listen, I know I don't... I said, Stevie, nice to meet you. I saw you at a show 6 months ago. It was awesome. I said, I know I don't have a chest like all those women, but will you sign my T-shirt that I'm wearing? And he said, absolutely. And he went to sign my security shirt, and I'm like, no. And I pulled up my security shirt, and I was wearing a BC Comics T-shirt that said, "Where are the broads?" Right? And he laughed. He's like, that's pretty good. And he signed Stevie Ray Vaughan 89. I said, hey, would you mind signing, to Ron to it? And he's like, yeah, no problem. So he signs to Ron in the corner.
You still have it?
It is hanging in the studio hallway.
Nice. That has to go on the website.
Yeah, we got to get a picture.
It's in the studio hallway right over there.
Remind me to get a picture before I go so
Absolutely.
that we can put this with this story.
So it was an amazing experience. After that, I took off my security shirt. I watched Jeff Beck with his awesome back band, and I had never seen Jeff Beck before. And then I watched one of my favorite of all time. I watched Stevie Ray Vaughan do a show, and he just tore down. He tore down the gymnasium.
That was awesome.
What a kick-ass night! That would have been a great concert.
89?
1989, yeah.
Because he was big then, and he was...
This was after Instep. He was clean. This is when he was clean.
He playing in the school gymnasium?
Instep had just been released, and he was big, but not over the entire country yet. Mm-hmm. And so he was still playing small venues. And I think there was maybe 2,000 people in this venue. Mm-hmm. There couldn't have been much more than that because some of the bleachers were even retracted, Mm-hmm. So he was playing, and Jeff Beck was huge too. But they played this small,
because I saw the Instep tour. Yeah. At that same place that we saw the
it was the Instep tour.
Tears for Fears at the Holiday Star Theater in Maryville, Indiana.
Yep.
It held probably 5,000 people. Yeah. But it was jammed up. It was jam-packed.
They had just released Instep, and he did Crossfire and some of his hits off of that.
Tightrope.
Tightrope. It was unbelievable.
Oh, I'll bet.
And I was lucky enough to see him 6 months before at an amphitheater that held about 5,000 people 6 months prior, and it was right on the river on the south side of Pittsburgh. And that was an amazing show too. I was in the second row and had a chance to see that, but I did not meet him at that show. But I did meet him in the second show, and it was a hell of a story. It was a hell of a night, and I thank my brother Jimmy for allowing me to be part of that, because that was amazing.
That would have been badass.
Yeah, that's a nice story.
Really cool concert. I still remember the day though when the news flash came on MTV News. Kurt Loder.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Letting you know
Remember
about
those?
the helicopter crash.
Yeah, I know.
Kurt Loder.
And believe it or not,
I grew up going to that venue too. It was Alpine Valley in Wisconsin, which was where everyone from Chicago would go see concerts.
Right.
It was bigger, it held 50,000 people or whatever. But he crashed right into a ski slope where I basically learned how to ski.
Wow.
So I'm sure I was right on that spot.
and it was only a few months after I saw him, because I saw him in November.
We should go back and look at the concert dates, because I saw him right before he died too.
I saw him in
November.
November.
We talked about going to that show, but we didn't. That was the with Eric Clapton and.
Yeah, it was November '89 when I saw him, and I still have the ticket. It is also
I think he died
in the studio.
Was it in the summer of 90?
He died in September or October.
It was less than a year later he was dead.
Of 90.
Yeah.
I know I had just started.
Because the weather had changed. The weather had changed, and so it had to be the beginning of winter.
Okay.
Up north, beginning of winter.
Which would probably be around October.
Yeah, and it was less than a year after I met him.
I love that Sky is Crying album, boy.
I tell you what, he he is one of the few artists that made me emotional when he passed.
He died August
Yeah.
27th, 1990. Yeah,
August
so
27th.
I was
about-
already back at school. I guess we
It's
started school
3
early.
days-
because everyone knew.
3 days
everyone
before
knew
my birthday.
Back at
Yeah.
school that we
Yeah,
were
but
huge fans.
he was pretty big then.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he was
When
huge
you
by
saw
then.
him, yeah, he was-
Yep,
he was-
because he was already clean. He had already released In Step, which was one of his largest albums. But he had, I don't know what his library was prior to that, but it had to be
Couldn't
at least
Stand the
6, 7
Weather.
albums. There was quite a few.
Texas Flood.
Yeah.
Texas Flood, yeah.
That was the really big.
Soul to Soul.
Sky is Crying.
I knew him because of the
Salt,
MTV.
yeah.
Guys
Austin
Crying
City
came out
Limits.
after he died.
Austin City Limits was
That was a great
Oh, that was another
album.
one, yeah.
Oh God,
Loved
what a great
that.
album.
Loved that.
That was-
Macambo.
That was the one that Voodoo Child, the recording from
Yeah.
the live version of Voodoo
Yeah.
Child came from.
Yeah.
Was in Austin.
Unbelievable.
Sure was. All right, this is the Local Music Show podcast. We're gonna get a beer, and we will be right back.
This is John, GM at Copper Blues, West Palm Beach. You're listening to the Local Music Show podcast.
It's called Downtown Beat. There's a place called Downtown Beat, where all the music's always playing. It's a place to be. You gotta find some time and ways to get there. You blow your mind, thinking it over once or twice. Now it's a state of mind. You gotta find some time and ways to get there. And the downtown there, it's gonna be alright. There's a place called Downtown Beat, where all the girls are always dancing. It's a place to be. You better find some time and ways to get there. Place you both in mind. Thinking it over once or twice. Now it's a state of mind. You better find some time and ways to get there. And the downtown there, gonna be alright. And if you don't go nowhere, you might show up down there tonight. There's a place called Downtown Beat, where all the bands are always jamming. It's a place to be. You gotta find some time and ways to get there. Crazy both in mind. Thinking it over once or twice. Now it's a state of mind. You gotta find some time and ways to get there. And downtown there, gonna be alright. And if you don't go nowhere, you might show up down there tonight. You don't care, you might show up that night. And if you don't chill, you might show up that night. There's a place called Downtown Beat. All the girls are always dancing. It's the place to be. You gotta find some time and ways to get that place to blow your mind. Thinking it over once or twice. Now it's a state of mind. You better find some time and ways to get there. And the downtown there, gonna be alright. If you don't go nowhere, you might show up down there tonight. And if you don't go nowhere, you might show up down there tonight. You're downtown beat. You're a downtown beat. You're a downtown beat.
We want to thank everyone for spending your valuable time hanging out with us each week at the Local Music Show podcast. We cannot thank you enough for your support and your sincere dedication to the show, to our bands, and to our local hangout spots. Be sure to catch our roaming Local Music Show podcast microphones. It's a great way to get yourself heard on the show and instantly become popular among others. Interact with the show by emailing us at localmusicshow@gmail.com. Join the conversation on Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Send us an email if you'd like to add to the conversation or if you have a show idea. We'll be back next week, and we look forward to seeing you this weekend. I'm Derek Diamante for the Local Music Show podcast, signing off. Have a great weekend, everyone.